If you have a 401k or a traditional IRA, the government will not let you keep that money indefinitely. The law forces you to start withdrawing your funds on a strict schedule, regardless of whether you actually need the cash. If you miscalculate the timing of these withdrawals, the consequence is severe. You can end up handing over up to a quarter of the required amount directly to the IRS as a cash penalty. This forced withdrawal is known as your Required Minimum Distribution, or RMD. For 2026, the specific regulations governing these distributions have shifted significantly under the Secure 2.0 Act. Millions of current retirees are approaching their early 70s right now, putting them directly in the crosshairs of this updated timeline. Waiting for the government to notify you is a mistake. Taking a passive approach triggers a hidden trap in your very first year, one that quietly forces you into a higher tax bracket and irreversibly inflates your tax bill. To begin building your withdrawal plan, you must lock in your exact target age. Under the new rules, if you were born between 1951 and 1959, your mandatory withdrawals begin at age 73. If you were born in 1960 or later, your timeline is extended. Your mandatory distributions will not begin until age 75. This target has been a moving target over the last decade. The IRS shifted it from 70.5 up to 72 and now to 73 or 75. Step 1 of your plan is straightforward. Check your birth year, verify which exact age applies to you, and mark that specific year on your calendar to prevent any premature tax events. Now we encounter the IRS's deceptive first-year grace period. For your very first RMD, the rules allow you to delay taking the money until April 1st of the year after you reach your target age. While that sounds like a helpful extension, taking it causes a serious mathematical problem. If you push your first distribution into April, your second distribution is still due by December 31st of that same year. You end up taking 2 massive taxable withdrawals within a 12-month window. Stacking 2 distributions together artificially spikes your annual income. The immediate collateral damage is that this higher income can trigger surcharges on your Medicare premiums for the entire year. A higher reported income also impacts your federal retirement benefits, often increasing the portion of your Social Security checks that are subject to federal taxation. To completely bypass this overlapping tax burden, schedule your very first withdrawal for December of the year you reach your target age. Ignoring the April extension keeps your annual income stable and avoids the trap entirely. Let's look at what happens if you simply miss a deadline. Under the updated regulations, failing to withdraw your full RMD incurs a default penalty of 25% on the exact amount you left behind. However, you can mitigate this damage. If you catch your mistake and withdraw the missing funds within a 2-year correction window, the penalty automatically drops from 25% down to 10%. To formalize this correction, you must file IRS Form 5329 with your tax return. In many cases, attaching a formal letter explaining the mistake with a reasonable error allows you to petition the IRS for a complete penalty waiver. Understanding this exact protocol is your safety net. A simple administrative error doesn't have to destroy a quarter of your unwithdrawn capital, as long as you act quickly and file the right paperwork. You can also take proactive steps to legally shrink the size of your required distributions. The most straightforward method involves an alternative account structure, Roth IRAs, which are completely exempt from lifetime RMDs. Moving money from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA is called a Roth conversion. Doing this during the lower income years immediately after you retire permanently removes those converted dollars from your future mandatory withdrawal pool. If you regularly donate to charity, another highly effective mechanism is the Qualified Charitable Distribution, or QCD. You transfer funds directly to a charity to satisfy your RMD quota, without those funds ever showing up on your tax return as income. You become eligible to execute a QCD at age 70.5, well before your mandatory withdrawals begin. For 2026, the maximum financial limit you can transfer tax-free is approximately $111,000. Deploying a Roth conversion early on, or using a QCD later in retirement, takes a rigid government mandate and turns it into a strategic, controlled financial advantage. Before finalizing your timeline, you must audit for specific exceptions. If you work past age 73 and own less than 5% of the company, you can generally defer distributions from your active employer's plan. But you must be precise here. This exception applies exclusively to your current employer's plan. Any older 401ks or separate IRAs remain fully exposed to the standard age 73 mandate. Inherited accounts also have distinct, aggressive timelines. If you inherit a retirement account from a non-spouse, you are generally mandated to empty the entire account within exactly 10 years. Auditing your portfolio for active employment exemptions and inherited accounts is a mandatory final check. Missing these details will unravel an otherwise perfect baseline schedule. When you structure these rules correctly, your retirement withdrawal schedule follows a predictable multi-year path rather than an annual tax crisis. Your income remains stable, and your tax bill stays minimal and predictable. The retirees who pay the most unnecessary tax make one common error. They wait until the year they turn 73 to begin organizing their withdrawals. By identifying your precise target age today, scheduling a December withdrawal to dodge the double tax trap, and utilizing Roth conversions or QCDs, you secure your savings. Mastering these rules secures your income and removes the uncertainty of the IRS clock. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe to Hidden Money Rules for more clear, actionable strategies.